The Unregistered Land Trap. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Let's have a look at this domain article, which discusses, well, the potential risks of unregistered land and the trap for those using the HomeBuilder Grant. So, home buyers are warned against buying cheaper house packages with unregistered land. And perhaps some of the surveyors who watch the channel can share in the comments, you know, if the arguments here that it can take a long time to register land are correct, or if, you know, developers should just pull their finger out and get it done. Then it's probably all dependent on local councils, isn't it? First home buyers have been warned by experts to stay away from house packages involving unregistered land if they are banking on the federal government's $25,000 home builder grant to get them over the line. Unregistered land and house packages are typically sold more cheaply than registered packages, but run the risk of taking years to complete as the developer has yet to register the land with council. The scheme has a looming deadline, meaning buyers left waiting too long for their build to start could miss out on the cash. In order for buyers to be eligible for the $25,000, new builds in New South Wales, a building contract needs to be signed by December 31st, 2020 at the latest, and construction needs to begin within 3 months of the signed contract date. Demand for home loans for residential land surged in July. Figures from the Australian Bureau of Statistics show in the wake of the federal government's home builder scheme, which was announced in June in a bid to throw a lifeline to the construction industry and encourage new builds. So, I mean, we're all aware that they're trying to do that, and we have seen building approvals tick up. We have seen them tick up. Dream Design property founder and buyer's agent Zik Amir has seen cheaper house and unregistered land packages marketed to buyers recently, but warned land registration by council can often take 12 to 18 months before developers transfer the property title to the owner and are ready to build on the individual lot. I mean, there you have it. 12 to 18 months. So it's the government slowing the process, the government getting in the way. I can't say I'm particularly surprised. These first home buyers aren't aware. They know it's cheap and think the property will register by the year. They still think everything is going to be okay. They just see it from a price perspective, Mr. Amir said. They won't know the consequences until next year. What you need to do, or maybe they've already jumped in. Maybe they've already jumped in and bought. What you need to do is you need to have it a condition of your contract that if they don't register it within a time period, that then they owe you $25,000. Do you think property developers would sign up for that? He said sales agents and developers also pushed unregistered land and house packages in the past. I'm fast forwarding the consequences. This is what happened 2 years ago, and this could happen to buyers who purchased unregistered land now and aren't able to settle it, either because the property value has dropped or they've lost their jobs, he said. That happens regularly, he added. The other impact is they can't compete or complete, and they lose their deposit. They lose the grant. They can be sued for the purchase price, not just the deposit. C&L Solicitors Director and Solicitor in Property Law, David Kao, said unregistered land would pose a risk for any buyer relying on the grant to build a house this year. People need to be careful that they are eligible because there are really stringent conditions on this home builder scheme, he said. Especially the requirements in relation to the construction commencement date, which I think is a big hurdle for people to try to achieve in order to get the grant. Yeah, you've got to understand, everyone, this scheme, this home builder scheme, is specifically designed to bring forward projects. So something you already had in the works, where pretty much you already had approval, or you were close to getting it, you already had the design done, you already purchased the land. The idea was to pull those projects forward from the future. Not to start, I guess they're saying they want to start new jobs, but you still need to be, the time frame is tight, guys. It is really tight. We looked at it. And as I've said in many videos, it's the trading while insolvent that has scared me away from jumping on board for $25,000. Although he had not seen buyers lured into purchasing unregistered land to get the HomeBuilder Grant, He had seen an increase in sales of vacant land, as well as house and land packages, and warned buyers to be wary of their circumstances. Buying unregistered land is a common occurrence. Most house and land packages are unregistered, Mr. Kao said. But whether or not any particular buyer is buying this particular land because they were encouraged by the HomeBuilder Grant, that's something each individual buyer needs to consider. If a buyer goes to buy a parcel of land off the plan, thinking the plan should be registered very soon, but in fact it does not register, then the buyer would miss out on the grant and there would be no remedies available to the buyer. That's why you need to have conditions changed to your contract, to your purchase contract. Make it a condition. But you'll need to pay for a lawyer to draft it up, and you'll need to be able to negotiate with them. Maybe how many developers would do that, would take that risk? The concern is whether or not the developer is marketing the land as if it would be registered very shortly, but knowing it is not. I mean, this is the thing. They need to inform the buyer of the potential risks that they're taking. Karina Ferguson, Coutts legal licensed conveyancer and property manager based in the MacArthur area, said there were no guarantees on when construction could begin when purchasing unregistered land. When a block of land is unregistered, while there is an approximate time given to prospective purchasers, there is no guarantee that their unregistered land will register within the approximate time frame, she said. And quite often, we have sunset dates, which is the latest possible time a developer can register a block of land. So a purchaser can't rely on any time frames given by salespeople or a sunset date. I wouldn't rely on either one because they are subject to change. She said relying on the HomeBuilder Grant to build a home on unregistered land was high risk. If you really want to cover yourself first, you should be entering into a registered land contract with a building contract. The timeframes are quite grey as well. She said buyers should ask their builder to have a guarantee written into the contract that building would start by the date required to get the grant. Many developers would even get on the front foot and include a warning in their unregistered land and house products, she said. Property Buyers Chief Executive and Buyers Agent Rich Harvey said buyers also ran the risk of losing their loan approvals. If the land hasn't been registered, you want to make sure there aren't going to be any untoward delays. One of the things that is challenging for buyers is loan approval. If they put a 10% deposit on the land at the time, they may not qualify for the loans down the track. I mean, that's another risk there, that the conditions change. I mean, we are heading into a recession, everyone. GDP has fallen, unemployment is high, things aren't looking good. So, I guess now, why would people be building now? Wouldn't you want to wait a bit? I guess if you have to. Housing Industry Association Chief Economist Tim Reardon noted a recent jump in home loans granted for blocks of land, warning that demand for the scheme might not be met in the time frame. Lending for construction of new homes rose in July for the first time since February to the highest level in 2 years, he said. Finance approvals for the purchase of a block of land are now 69.9% higher than in the same month last year, Mr. Reardon said. The surge in lending for land purchases highlights a risk that the availability of residential lots where on-site work can begin within the time frame of the home builder package could limit take-up under the program. So there we have it, everyone. The potential risk of unregistered land to people jumping on to the Home Builder Grant. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think now's the time to buy? It's my concerns with the whole trading while insolvent exemptions just unfounded, you know. You're just worrying too much, Florian. It's your experience being a small business owner and an architect is just coming through. Oh, well, we'll have to see. At the very least, it's fantastic to see that Domain is getting some exposure to this potential risk, for people investing in property and using the Home Builder Grant. So I commend them for that. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.